Thanks a lot, guys. So I'll just be very, as advised, I'll not take more than 7-8 minutes in my presentation. Okay, I'll try to, sir. Talking about the data center. So my topic is to talk about the next generation data center, although Mr. Suresh has taken the pain points of the general public, that what is in spite of this IT infrastructure better than the normal infrastructure, still we have a lot of pain points. And my slides will cover up how these pain points are can be catered, can be taken care if we implement the next generation data center, how we will move forward to this. So just we will see the trends and architecture. So this is, further loss of time has been given. So this is the complete stack of IT infrastructure which we have, starting from creating the IT infrastructure, building the data center, building the business system, building the data protection and disaster recovery, and then moving on to the nice user experience which we talked about, that suddenly this website doesn't respond. We are not getting the tickets reserved. So this is the user experience now we are talking about. Moving further, that this is a situation which is there. See, the service, globalization, low efficiency, all that stuff which we are right now facing, and which we need to cover up. The trend there is the large scale data center infrastructure. NSA has already consolidated a lot of Gujarat government. If you see, we have consolidated the data center in Gujarat government. So there is a lot of consolidation is happening. The large scale infrastructure is required. At the same time, we require a professional touch in order to manage and maintain those data centers. Creating is one thing, but managing and maintaining is another step. And it should be diversified, scalable, and the branding should already be there. So it is, if you look at it, the requirement of the next generation data center. It should have seamless scalability. It should not that tomorrow I want to implement something, I should not stuck here that my data center is not scalable. I should not start from scratch again. Predictability of performance. What is the performance I require? I remember Indian Railways when it started, it was giving good services. But as the usage has grown, the scalability has not grown to that extent. So we need to take care of those kind of future requirements which is there. And cost effectiveness, obviously, from the 2008 turmoil which we have seen, the enterprises, the budgets are being reduced. But at the same time, if you see the IT role has moved away from a cost center to a value-added service provider within the organization also. So how can we do that? So that is another one. Energy efficiency, everybody talks about the green IT, green IT, green IT. But what is the green IT? Energy efficiency, less carbon emission. So there are a lot of factors which we need to keep into the consideration. And then the space is also there. In metros like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, the space is very costly. How do we manage everything in a less space? So that is again the fundamental point of the next generation data center. Self-monitoring. We need 24/7 operations. So monitoring should be self-monitoring. And beyond that, so virtualization, we have seen NSA has adopted virtualization, but virtualization has moved away from server and storage. It has moved beyond that. In the data center also there is a virtualization. The complete data center is built up on the virtualization. So this is the 3-layer architecture of the data center, where you first create the data center physical architecture. Madam Shah has already talked about to create the data center infrastructure. Once we have the layer 1 of the data center infrastructure, then on top of it, we can always create the hardware infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and then the application infrastructure. But basically, the data center infrastructure, the physical layer 1, should be present, without which we cannot plan in a good way. These are I am highlighting the 4-layer architecture of any data center. The physical data center, IT infrastructure, then the application layer, and then the service layer. So I think many of the enterprises has entered into the service and the application layer. The 2 layers are almost covered, but how to enhance the user experience in the 2 layers is more important nowadays, more challenging in these days. So this is the way we can do it. We can take care of the site preparation or the physical infrastructure creation by powerful global purchasing, which the government is already doing by having a centralized purchase. They have a big budget, so instead of buying at the district level, they are buying at the state level or the central level. So government is already moving in that direction. Then on the IT infrastructure, it should be secure. There is a lot of security concerns which we have. So it should be secure, reliable, and economical. Without the business case, none of the IT thing will not work at all. We should have a business case, it should be economical. Then after that, it should have flexible, expandable services. Like Gujarat we have seen, they have more than 100 applications deployed in the data center. That should be gradually, if tomorrow 150, we should have the flexible system from top to bottom, everywhere, to adapt to the flexibility and the scalability. So this is the Huawei data center. Just look at it, how the Huawei has implemented this all attributes of the next generation data center in its own data center, which they house more than 2,000 racks, serving more than 87,000 employees all across the world, 24/7 operations. So these kind of operations which we are talking about. I was just chatting over the lunch with Madam Shah that even they don't get a downtime even during the Sundays, the weekends. So that is the kind of thing which we need to take care of it. We cannot afford to have a downtime the way the things are moving ahead. So we need to take everything into accounting and move ahead. So this is how Huawei brings value in building NGDC. Huawei is actually serving the top 36 telecom operators out of the 50 globally. So telecom grade products, we all know the telecom density has moved in India also. The kind of robustness the telecom products require is already built in the Huawei portfolio. Then there is a software part. We have a separate business unit which takes care of the software, the kind of scalability required in the telecom, and it has to be dynamic. Then Huawei Electric and Huawei Symantec is another unit, business unit which takes care of the storage and the security platform within Huawei. So the physical IT infrastructure, this is creating of the air condition, creating of the PDU, monitoring system, all the stuff. Air conditioning, it has to be energy efficient. Then unified management, again, we see a lot of headache in managing the things. It should be unified management, not only from the IT infrastructure perspective, but from the physical infrastructure also. So, this was 2 minutes. So, precise operation accounting, we can have this all till we have a precise calculation also. In science, we say that half of my problem is solved the moment I can identify the problem. So we need to identify exactly how much energy we need to consume of each and every equipment, and there we can, so that we can propose the total energy requirement accordingly. So this is the three-layer architecture of an IT architecture. Huawei is giving the complete gateway layer where the routers and switches are there. Then on the second layer where we have a telecom grade server and cluster technology. Then on the third layer, the data, the security as well as the storage portfolio. And this is everything is being catered by Huawei. Then server virtualization, I'll not talk here. We all moving towards the virtualization. We have a lot of capacities available. Storage virtualization, again, lot of storages, we consolidate and virtualize them. Services, disaster recovery, host-based, array-based, or the virtual gateway-based. Cloud, we are all talking about the cloud. I don't have a time to go deep into the cloud. I would love to go into deep for the cloud services, but we have seen in the last 3 days what is the cloud computing and storage. So this is the cloud, and this is the advantage, wherein flexible expansion. This is why I choose Huawei, is we have a deep understanding, end-to-end solution, design, conception, the complete rich experience in global thinking. Then finally, I just thank all of you to give me a platform to address on behalf of my company. Thanks a lot.